Bengals 3-1. Contenders?
I don't want that camera on me. Put this one on me. Let me be very, very clear.
Oh, you want the close-up.
I'm very, very serious about this. Any questions about the Cincinnati Bengals being a contender offends me. It is an absolute offense to me and to any God-fearing, football-loving, Cincinnati Bengals cheering individual out there. I'm not one of them. But let me be very, very clear to America here. Last time I checked, in order to be a contender, you actually have to win a playoff game. It's not, I'm in the regular season, I have a good record, and then after that, I go to the playoffs. If that's your definition of contender, Marvin Lewis has been a contender for the vast majority of the last decade. We know that. Last time I checked, a contender has to win a playoff game. The Cincinnati Bengals are talented. They are loaded. Atkins and Dunlap and Lawson. Each of them had a sack yesterday, by the way. And Andy Dalton is no scrub. And A.J. Green, my brother, is a stud. The brother's big time. I get it. They have not won a playoff game in the 15 years that Marvin Lewis has been a head coach. To me, it's a damn travesty that man is a head coach in Cincinnati. I'm not saying he doesn't belong to be a head coach in the NFL, Max. I'm saying in Cincinnati, if you go 15 years without winning a damn playoff game and you still get to keep your job, I mean, you talk, listen, this, don't get me started. I don't even want to say what I was tempted to say because it would go too deep.
Yeah,
it would go too deep. I don't want to go there. But I'm going to tell you something right now. And I'm looking at Cincinnati Bengals fans because some of these people call into my radio show. Some of them stop me on the show. I don't know how the hell there's Cincinnati Bengals fans outside of Cincinnati. That's just me. But I'll take it. Don't come up to me. Don't email, don't call, on Instagram, tweet, Facebook. Don't you dare talk to me about the Cincinnati Bengals being a contender. You know when I'll answer that question? And I don't even want you all presenting a damn question to me again. I will never answer that question about the Cincinnati Bengals until they win a playoff game. When they win a playoff game, come to me and talk to me.
Bengals fans are sliding in his DMs.
Not email, no nothing. What if they hand wrote a letter, snail mail?
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is what I'm trying to say.
Like in the old days.
The Cincinnati Bengals can go 16-0, and I will sit here with the same demeanor until they win a playoff game. Could you win one playoff game?
The Cincinnati Bengals are contenders.
Yeah. How?
They have an underrated quarterback. He used to be overrated. It's funny how overrated works. Like the way Jay Cutler every year. He's going to win the MVP this year. No. But he's like Jay Cutler without the personality problem, right? Andy Dalton's a talented quarterback, and he's good. He's not bad. He's not just okay. He's good.
He's good.
And they have a middle-of-the-pack defense at least. And they have an elite wideout in A.J. Green, as good as just about anyone you ever want to see.
True.
And they win without their running back, who's very good. They're a good team. Are they contenders? Well, Stephen A., it's funny. You'd be right about the Bengals, but I have one kind of suspicion that they were about to be contenders, and they ran into some
Bless you.
You know, a couple years ago, the Bengals, remember, after that game in the playoffs the year before where they handed it to the Steelers, right? Because Vontaze Burfict just messed up when everyone had.
By the way, he's been gone, and he'll be back this week. Now he's served this first game.
But and it was amazing because it's like, is Vontaze Burfict going to misbehave? No, not with all his other eyes on him. Playoffs coming, no. And right when they needed 14 yards, he handed them 15. When the game, I mean, it's unbelievable. The very following season, guys, Andy Dalton and the Bengals seem to have turned a corner to me. And I admit, Stephen A., I can't prove it, but let me tell you the evidence I saw. Not only were they very good, and they had a good record, and they were heading to the playoffs, but remember what Dalton started to do in the fourth quarter of games. What he started to do in primetime games, Thursdays, Sundays, whenever they were playing at night, primetime, they were the national game. Dalton started to show out in those situations where he hadn't in the past, under pressure where he hadn't in the past. And I felt that year, the Bengals had a real chance to advance in the playoffs. And once you advance in the playoffs, who knows where that leads. But I thought they were going to win a playoff game. He got hurt right before the playoffs started, never had a chance to show what he could do. Then they lost Whitworth to free agency. He lost his protection, hasn't been the same. They're good again. I think he's ready.
Let me tell you why your explanation doesn't hold water. When Vontaze Burfict came and messed that up with the 15-yard penalty and they imploded and Pac-Man got into it with Porter, the coach, but, that really wasn't his fault. That wasn't Andy Dalton quarterbacking the team. That was A.J. McCarron.
Right.
Because Andy Dalton had got hurt. It still didn't prevent you from being in a position to win a football game. But somehow, some way, they imploded. So it's not just about Andy Dalton getting hurt. Let's also be very, very clear. Whether it's Giovanni Bernard, who can ball, A.J. Green, Andy Dalton, A.J. McCarron at the time was the backup, et cetera, et cetera. Mohamed Sanu was on that squad, if I remember correctly, before he went to Atlanta. The bottom line is, historically, we have not been in a position to question the talent on the Cincinnati Bengals. What we've questioned is their productivity when it counts. Somehow, some way, they'll mess it up.
Yeah.
That's what we have said. It's the same situation now. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals, they can ball.
I think they're
they
gonna
can
win a
ball.
playoff game
But the
this
bottom
year,
line
Stephen
is,
A.
you gotta win a playoff game.
But
They're gonna
Stephen
win
A.
it this year.
But they call me when they do.
Put it on the record.
They call me when they
I'm
do.
gonna DM
They
you,
call
I'm
me when
gonna
they do.
call you,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
give a
text you.
damn
I'm gonna
what the
FaceTime
Cincinnati.
you,
Oh,
actually.
whatever. Stop it.
Stephen
The
A.,
bottom line
if
is,
they have
the
Dalton
Bengals
that
need to
year,
win
they'd
a
already
playoff
won a
game.
playoff
Oh,
game.
please. I
They'd
want to hear
already won
that.
it.
15 years?
They'd already
15
won it.
years?
Had Dalton not been hurt, they'd already won a
15
playoff
years.
game. That's
Y'all
right.
gonna sit up there with a straight face with all of that 15 years they ain't won a playoff game?
And losing
We
Whitworth hurt them.
said get to the playoffs.
Where were
Have
you
you seen
15
my
where were you 15
sorry
years ago?
team?
Where were you 15
I
years
was
ago?
probably in elementary school.
Really? Really? But we want to talk, right?